Hello everyone. Today's topic is sports and literature. Some of you might love sports, some of you might not. But one thing every one of us will agree to. What is that? That sports is a global ritual, isn't it? Everywhere there is sports. And writing about sports and engaging in sports, it is about defining fairness or justice. There is heroism involved, there is belonging involved, success, accomplishment, triumph. It is somehow related to politics, culture, commerce. It is a very complex field. So, what is sports literature or sports and literature? How are they related? We know that there are many novels, books that use sports. You know, the sports of cricket or football or swimming, athletics, sports, sportsmen, their body, sportswomen, their rules, rituals, myths, all these have become part of literary expression. So, literature that has sports as subject, where the setting is sports, and through sports, exploring human experience. That is what is called sports literature. It can be non-fiction or fiction or drama, even poetry. Even though I have not come across poetry, essays, non-fiction is very common. It can be children's or graphic narratives. So, through all these depictions, ambition, identity, triumph of winning and losing, failure. Failure is a very important concept in sports literature, don't you think? And another thing is teamwork, how you work with your team, the team spirit. If there is anything analogous to sports literature before all this generic work came in, is sailors literature. Like Heart of Darkness. There are many literary works that talk about sailors, their culture, their teamwork and team spirit and sense of triumph. Moby Dick, isn't it? So there is some relationship between these two. If any of you is a sports person, you will also know that training is a very important part of sports. Injury, disappointment, and also fandom. When you become a famous sports person, you will get fans. People will write about you. Fan fiction will be there about you. So all these are very important aspects that we could look at. Now, is there a history of sports literature? I wondered and I read about it and I can give you some insights. Of course, there is a history of sports literature. Pindar, the Greek writer who wrote about Olympics. He wrote about Olympics in his odes. That is probably the first example of sports literature. Homer also talks about sport in Iliad. In the medieval and Renaissance traditions also, I think a lot of people mentioned sports and wrote about it. Shakespeare has talked about fencing, archery. Even in Canterbury Tales, we have the squire, his jousting. It's a kind of fencing. Shakespeare has written about hunting, even though it's a very bad sport. It is there. And sports is related to some racial metaphors, in our Olympics and in modern times also, sports was racially stereotyped as, doing more with Africans and black people and all that. So there are so many political issues there. Now, sports literature is also related to something else. That is also part of cultural studies. You can do research on or read up on. What is that? Clubs, sports leagues. How they are like the artistic teams. In drama, in the history of theatre, there were acting troupes who were maintained by patrons, isn't it? Like that, sports people have clubs and teams. They are maintained by, certain patrons. I don't know exactly what they are called, but that is an area where power works, money and fandom and publicity all celebrity culture. These are all terms and concepts that you can apply there. It's good that in this hot weather, I'm sweating a lot because I'm talking about sports. Is there any sports without sweating? That's good. Now, I am not a very great sports enthusiast, but I have read in my childhood one sports work, that is Tom Brown's School Days. Thomas Hughes, I think. There, I was inspired by the way sports was depicted. It's set in a school, and sports is used to as a motive to discuss the concept of discipline, teamwork also, of course, and moral values. In my childhood, I was inspired by it, but today I know that it's a kind of old-fashioned work. So it's one of the earliest. It's a 19th century work, I think mid 19th century. So it's one of the earliest works that I have come across in sports literature. Now think of that. Boyhood and girlhood are concepts associated with sports literature. In the beginning of cultural studies, when cultural studies came into being, school culture, campus culture, boyhood, girlhood, these were all looked at. There were theorists who talked about it. Okay, so I have talked about a lot of things. One thing is there that I didn't talk about. That is sports journalism. Sports journalism is not just a topic of study, it is a lucrative job also. If you like sports and if you are good at language, if you have the gift of the gab, you can be a commentator. You should know the sport, of course. And also you can write about sports. Sports journalists get a lot of money. It's a very good career. So sports journalism has become an art now. I looked at some writers. I have not read them. Grantland Rice, Red Smith, Frank Deford. I don't claim to know about all of them, but I read about them. They are very great pioneers in sports journalism. Hey, that reminds me, like Tom Brown's School Days, I have come across A.E. Housman. It is an author we study in literature, A.E. Housman. He wrote a very famous work, To an Athlete Dying Young. Have you heard of that? To an Athlete Dying Young. Please take a look at it. If you are interested in sports literature, that is one text that you can look at. And also David Story, recent writer, famous David Story, who wrote The Changing Room. It's about rugby, okay? Rugby. Now, interestingly, cricket narratives, football narratives, rugby narratives, they're all independent subgenres within sports literature. There is also another genre, that is sports memoirs and autobiographies. Athletes writing their autobiographies, that is a very important area within sports literature. Now, do you know any important autobiography written by athletes? I will tell you some if you want. Most of you would know Sachin Tendulkar's, which is that Playing It My Way. That is Sachin Tendulkar's autobiography. Another famous cricketer wrote The Test of My Life. It's a pun on test. The Test of My Life. Can you guess who that is? You could comment on in the chat box. Maybe I will not tell you. It's a game. You comment in the chat box. Okay? There is an athlete who was faster than lightning, and that is the title of his autobiography. Which is that? Faster than lightning. Who is that? Usain Bolt. I remember, when I was growing up or when I was a young woman, maybe he was very famous. And then, one autobiography all of us know. That Iron Woman, Mary Com's autobiography, Unbreakable. Very inspiring, very inspiring. Sania Mirza has written, so Muhammad Ali has written. Sports autobiographies itself is a very important area. Now, there are some other writers from literature and from familiar writers I can tell you about. Do you know Ernest Hemingway wrote about sports? Which sport? Bullfighting. It is about bullfighting. Death in the Afternoon. That's a famous work that he wrote about bullfighting. His first novel, The Sun Also Rises, also talks about bullfighting. Then, Have you heard of Norman Mailer? Norman Mailer has written about Muhammad Ali called The Fight. I have not read it. I just came across that. And do you know, guys, our famous thinker, philosopher, public intellectual, Ramachandra Guha? This is general knowledge, current affairs. Ramachandra Guha was a former administrator of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. And he has written A Corner of a Foreign Field. That is a history of Indian cricket, touching upon society and class and caste and all that. A Corner of a Foreign Field by Ramachandra Guha. You might have heard of Ashish Nandi. Ashish Nandi is the author of The Intimate Enemy, post-colonial critic. He wrote The Tao of Cricket, T-A-O, The Tao of Cricket. You know what? He's arguing that cricket is an originally Indian game that has been appropriated by the British. That is what he argues. Cricket is originally an Indian game. Come to think of it, in Kerala, there is a very folk local game called Kuttiyam Kolum. Maybe that is the origin of cricket, I don't know. Now, if you want to think of South Asian cricket fiction, you will find a few important works. Do you know the Booker Prize winner Shehan Karunatilaga? Shehan Karunatilaga has written Chinaman, the story of Pradeep Matthew. Yeah? And Aravind Adiga's Selection Day. Two brothers are engaged in Mumbai cricket. That is, obviously, it's not only about cricket, it's about class, survival, and also maybe masculinity also. Selection Day by Aravind Adiga. Another very famous novel and visual, treat that all of you would know is Zoya Factor. Anuja Chauhan's Zoya Factor, where cricket and sports play a major role. Talk about movies, there are many. All of you know about it. Comment that also in the comment box. So, that is a lot of books that we talked about, a lot of ideas. Now, I will wind up with some theories. Sports is generally a visual culture. There is the visual element in sports. So, sport as performance and spectacle. Do you know the concept of Guy Debord, the book by Guy Debord? He talked about the society of spectacle. So, sports as a stage show, especially bullfighting and all, are pure stage show. Isn't it? WWE. All of you would know about it. So, sports as a show, it's an entertainment. I don't agree to it. I don't like it. But there are people who like it. So, that is there. And sports is all about, of course, masculinity and femininity, power, sexuality also. Many times in the past, at least, even now, sports is seen as a test of manhood. A boy who does not like sports and who cannot take part in sports is considered very wrongly as maybe effeminate or not so much man. That is absolutely wrong. But it is there. So, and women had a very, difficult time getting into sports because middle class parents will say, sports is not for women. If you want, you can go for dance, not sport, because there is a stigma. Women athletes, queer athletes, etc. are looked down upon. So, sports is like a miniature or microcosm of the society where the politics of race, class, gender, nation, everything is at work. Sports studies is also related to fandom studies, maybe media studies. And today we talk about body studies. Body studies, studies of related to pain and affect, embodiment, corporeality. All that is also important. Theories that you can look at in terms of sports. And cricket as colonial and post-colonial. That is a very usual topic. It has become cliched, I guess. Many people have talked about that already. Like I was saying, the sponsors, the patrons, the money that is involved, the awards. So much is there. Every aspect of it can be looked at. And last but not the least, sports and education. How far sports is important in education and in what way? So it goes on and on and on and on. What a volcano of a topic, isn't it? I hope you enjoy reading about it, engaging in it. I'm looking forward to your comments, and I'll be back with more interesting topics soon. Okay, guys, bye bye. Happy sports, happy reading, happy research, and happy viewing.